Hi guys, it's Clarice and welcome to another fun watercolor floral video tutorial with me. In today's video, we are sort of piggybacking off of last week's video, which was, drum roll, as I quickly find it, these flowers right here. We had started that video off by doing a little bit of color mixing to get all these beautiful hues here, and then we went right into painting these loose florals. And then what we had left over, which is right here on my palette, the leftover color, what I'm going to do is show you how to create these really pretty roses right here using some leftover color from your palette and then also using these beautiful metallics. Now I'm using this duo set by KMS Watercolor, and it has, these colors are called Sparkling Stars, which is kind of like a champagne gold. And then we've got Space Blue, which is more of a gray than a blue, I would say, but maybe it's got some hints of blue in there. I'm not quite sure. Possibly, right? So that's what I'm using for colors. For my brushes, I am using my Princeton number 8 regular round, and then I'm also using a number 2 round by Escoda. And then again, we will be painting this pretty composition onto another postcard, watercolor postcard by Etchr. All right, all my supplies are listed in the description below, so please feel free to check that out. And I think we are ready to begin. So I've zoomed in here, and this way you guys can see better when I am doing the strokes, and you'll have a closer eye view of what's happening here on my sheet. Now, what I quickly wanted to explain to you guys before we begin, because this is important. While these are simple, these are the things you need to sort of keep in mind before you actually begin painting these loose roses that I just showed you. The first thing I'm going to do is activate my gold, and I'm going to do my little C strokes in the middle. This is how I start all of my roses. For those who've viewed any of my other rose videos, y'all know that's how I begin. My little C strokes or comma strokes in the center, and then slowly widening it out, and then taking a thicker brush, and which is a little more water heavy, and then not smudging but spreading out the color so we get a nice soft rounded soft edges, not rounded, not necessarily rounded, because roses have different organic shape petals on the outsides. All right, so that's what I'm going to do, except instead of just water on this brush, I'm going to get a little bit of my leftover color. I think I'll get a little bit of the yellow for one, maybe a little bit of the pink for the other. And that's how we're starting our roses. Just wanted to give you guys a quick heads up. So I'm going to start activating my color right now. I've got water on the side, and I'm quickly going to activate this. Painting. So here's what we're going to do. I'm taking my brush, and I am going to position my first flower over here, kind of facing upward. In fact, you know what? Maybe we'll make it vertical. So I'm just going to go like this, doing my little C strokes, and then the outer bits I'm spreading a little bit more, dipping the tip of my brush in water. I am kind of getting a lighter version of this nice gold. And then immediately I've got some color on my brush here, my Princeton. I'm going to go ahead and start swiping. First, I'll start off in the center, just kind of lightly using the tip of my brush to kind of circulate this gold. And then making sure I'm leaving enough white space in between. I'm just creating these organic looking semicircle C strokes, but I'm kind of not aiming for straight edges. I'm kind of twirling it around to get some nice, cute little organic petals. So this is what we're doing, and kind of leaving that white space in between as we go around. And now switching back to this brush, I'm going to just lightly add in a couple of these, a couple of strokes, and this way we've got some nice gold integrating into this beautiful pink that we have. And this is how we get our cute little soft gold tone rose. And now what I'm doing is I'm just kind of going in and lightly moving the gold around into the pink. I don't want to close up any of the white space. I love how this has turned out. This is perfect. I'm going to go immediately and create the next flower. Again, getting some of the gold, and we're going to do this flower kind of facing downward a little bit. Same idea. Starting close in the center and then kind of really smudging it as we go outward. And now switching back to this brush, I'm going to get a little bit more of that yellowy color and add that to the center here before we add some nice pretty yellow details in petal format on the outside. Now the reason I rushed into this flower right away was because I wanted to have some of the damp pink flower from the top that we've just painted in hopes that it would blend in. And sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. I don't think I've wholly got that here, and that's okay. I'm not overly hung up over that. I'm not going to add too much detail at the top. We're just going to end off by adding some detail here into, by detail I mean some of these golden strokes in here. Really kind of trying to blend it into these petals. And that's perfect. I love how this has turned out. We're going to go ahead and add a couple of leaves and such like that into this composition. So I'm going to put this brush down and we're going to start using the number 2 for the leaves. I activated some of my space blue onto here, and we're going to go ahead and start creating some leaves. We're going to place some leaves a little bit at the top here, some in between, and some kind of coming downward, and then we'll do, I was thinking like maybe some berry type elements around. Okay, so here's how that's going to look. Let me just make sure I've got, yeah. So we're going to start off by doing some at the top. And I'm just doing my stem first, then using the tip of my brush, pressing down, and then trailing towards the stem, leaving some white space in between. If you've never done leaves before and you find them tough and you're new to watercolor, I would suggest that you check out some of my leaf videos. They're great exercise videos if you're just starting out and you're trying to get the hang of this whole loose effect. So I'm going to get some more color and just going to add some more detail here. I'm going to add some happening over here. Now I'm using the number 2 for these leafy details just because then this way I'm not getting super massively huge leaves. They're nice and thin and small, and the roses still remain to be the most dominant part of our painting. That's the idea for going small with the leaves. So we've got some there, we've got some here. I'm just going to darken this one a little bit. And then we're going to do some at the bottom here. You can see I'm getting different variations of tonal range here, and that's nice for leaves. Or just in this sort of loose style of painting. Even if you can get it in the flowers itself, that's pretty. And definitely aids with the whole loose look. I'm gonna add, so I've got some trailing down here, some at the top. I think that's super pretty. Let's add a little bit happening off to the side here. And then we can add some of those berry elements I was talking about previously. Right, so I said some over here on this end. So again, I don't want them to be too overpowering in comparison to the roses. So if these ones over here are a tad lighter than all the others, that's okay. And then you can just add a little bit of darker hue to the edge where it is touching the rose. I'm just going to darken it in all these areas so you've got some nice light to dark details happening. Just also pay special attention to the white space I have happening with these guys here. Oh, and by these guys I mean like the roses and also the leaves. Okay, so I think that's good. One other thing that I like to add to kind of enhance this whole what's it called, loose look, is just adding a couple of dots, almost like as if you were very loosely painting and then you got some details that were kind of extremely loose in the form of dots. And they also kind of give you a nice effect in terms of, this could be foliage, the leaves that have, I guess, maybe tiny little buds on them or something, you know. So I feel adding these kind of details to your composition are always very helpful and add something more without you know, exerting a lot of skill to kind of achieve. Even if it's trailing at the end of a leaf or something like that. It's pretty. So I'll add some over here, and I think we're good for now. We can move on to the other bits that I was talking about, which is going to be the the berries. That's what I was referring to. And for the berries, we are going to be using our sparkling stars. So again, I'm going to go ahead and activate my gold. We're literally just, we are literally just using these two colors and the leftover paint from last week's video. Okay, so here we go. I've got that color activated, and we're now going to go ahead and start painting these berries. So really quickly, I think if we're planning where these berries go, I think it would be nice to have some kind of facing upward here, a little bit downward coming from these guys here, and maybe some in between here. Yeah, let's go with that. So let's start with adding how I did the leaves. We're doing a stem first. So I'll do a stem kind of coming this way, another one attached, and then another one here. So I'm literally grazing the tip of my brush to get these thin lines, and then I'm pressing down to get these cute little, almost like deliberate leaves they look like. Need some more of the color. I'm going to get a tiny one happening there, one here, and then another one just here, kind of attached a little bit. Perfect. And I love how simple and easy and pleasing to the eye this is. Like, we don't have to add a whole lot of detail really. Let's do some falling down this way. Here we go. Perfect. And then I'm going to add another one here. You can just do 3 if you're intimidated or unsure about placement or what have you. But I really do encourage you to sort of, you know, just take a sheet of paper, try these things out, go with what your internal creative gut is telling you to do. And remember, like, don't be scared to do it, because the worst case scenario, like, what's the worst thing that can happen? You don't like it and you decide you want to try something else. But you tried your idea, you kind of, now you know it, if it works or it doesn't work. And the flip side of that is you might end up trying something and really loving it. So never, never, never dismiss your gut instinct that way. All right, so we've got 3, and let's do one more here at the top. I'm going to do it on this side because we've got a lot here. So let's just do some here. Perfect. Like, just very light, very simplistic, not a lot of detail, not even too much really if you don't want to have too much happening. And I'm just going to add a couple of like tiny little twirls and swirls like this. Not twirls, they're more like curvy lines to kind of just indicate tapering off or just more detail. Perfect. And I think that's it, guys. Like, we honestly don't have to do much else. This is a very pretty composition, soft, easy on the eye. And because this is a postcard, we can actually just write something really cute at the bottom if we want. Or, yeah, I think I'll definitely be writing something on there at the bottom. But that's it, guys. This is the whole tutorial. You can feel free to use this on fun things like, I don't know, invitations, wedding invitations, baby shower cards. Look at that glitter. Look how pretty that is, right? So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this. This is how you can use some of the color without really wasting a bunch of color. A little does go a long way, as you can see. Look at the amount of color I still have left over. Like, that is a lot still. So I could probably do a whole bunch of these all over again. All right, thanks so much for watching. I cannot wait to see your work. Please do tag me on social media and show me how yours turned out, or if you tried something different, taking these ideas and being inspired by them. I would love to see it. And if you like this video, please hit that like button and consider subscribing to my channel, guys. It really does help me grow and continue to put out videos like this for you guys. All right, that's it. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.